What I want to share with you today is the self-discovery and the struggle I went through to accept who I was and who I am. And we go up through ups and downs and we still struggle. I still struggle. But I want you to know that we are all in it together. I am here to tell you, if this woman in front of you speaking to you today can do it, so can you. Then let me repeat. Think it, say it, and do it.
Together we can make a difference. We can help each other. We can support each other. And as a woman from the Middle East, as a person that had no rights, no basic human right, I am here to fight. I am here to challenge. I am here to tell you, you have every right to be a human being. You have every right to be who you want to be. So do not allow anyone around you to tell you otherwise.
Who am I? I was behind the shadow of somebody all the time till I started my business. And I go to the conference for the first time ever. Network with like-minded people. That's where we are. Now would you say that's the president? I found myself. So, this is the big picture. Don't stay local. Dream big. Aim.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk Live. Good morning, Laura, my lovely co-host.
I'm so excited to be here, Rebecca. Today is going to be amazing. I don't have a coffee, but I have some water.
Good for you. I actually have water as well. I have finished my coffee. I'm glad that you're here, and we are going to have an exciting day. Before we get started, I want to say welcome to all of our viewers. Thanks for being here. We have a wonderful guest for you. I do want to make a mention that we are using StreamYard to go live. So if you are watching and you would like to comment, you would like to check in, say hello, tell us where you are, if you could give StreamYard permission to show your name first before you comment, then we will know who you are. If not, just include your name with your comment so we can say hello back. So now, without further ado, I would love to introduce our guest. She is lovely. She is well-spoken, as she should be. We have a special guest today. Her name is Monica Prado, and she is based in the Philippines and runs a company called Communicare. She does communications training. So, Rigel, can we bring Monica into the studio?
Hello.
I almost said good morning, but it's actually quite late at night. Thank you for being here with us this morning for us.
So yes, good morning, Rebecca and Laura, and thank you so much for having me here. I'm so happy to be here with you. We had Ferial before guest on our online talk, so to be here is really a pleasure.
Excellent. So it's kind of come full circle.
Yes.
That is wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, to get started, I would like for you to tell us a little bit about who you are and share with our viewers what you do, because you have quite an impressive business and resume.
Oh, thank you. I'm the master trainer and founder of Communicare Training and Development. We help people and organizations communicate better through learning programs and our consultancy services. I'm also an author and a writer.
That's amazing. So tell me, how did you get into communications training? Like, what made you choose that path?
It's a long story, but many years ago, before there was even YouTube, I used to do TV commercials and ads. I used to host events. When eventually I entered the corporate world, perhaps because of my background in media, I would always be tapped to conduct learning programs on communication in the companies, and eventually other companies would invite me to do programs for their employees as well. And that was when I saw the need, and we founded, my husband and I founded Communicare Training and Development in 2010. Then when it was still very new, I decided to take up my master's degree in integrated marketing communication, which was a very big help because I was telling you earlier that I had no idea what IMC was or is. But by taking up my master's degree, I was able to learn its importance, and I would use Communicare as my subject for each case study, for each project. And it really helped the business, especially after I finished my thesis and eventually applied it. I saw the benefits of IMC.
That's fantastic. So, of course, we all know what communication is, and we all know that it's very important, whether it is in a business relationship with colleagues, with clients, or in our personal relationships. We all know that communication and learning to be a good communicator is so important. But for those of us who marketing is, and for our viewers who may not have heard that term before or who don't exactly know how it applies to them or how they can use it, can you explain integrated marketing?
Mhm. Some people would think that marketing is bad, it's deceiving people, but actually, right, there are some misconceptions, but
It can feel salesy.
but when we talk about marketing, it's not really that. It's more of telling people what you can do for them. A lot of businesses actually failed not because they don't have good products or services, but it's because not a lot of people, their target market, didn't know that they could actually help them, that they had the products, the services that could help them. And I think that is the main purpose of marketing, telling your target market the value you can
Mhm,
offer them,
definitely.
how you can help them solve their problems. But then, of course, right now there are so many channels, communication channels, wherein we can promote our products and services, and it's a good thing. However, if we are communicating conflicting messages, then the target market can end up being confused. There's no clarity,
Mhm.
and this is when IMC or integrated marketing communication comes in. It is when you have a unified message which you are communicating, and you are consistently communicating across all these different channels that you are using to promote your products and your services.
That that is a really great point, and that I love that. And it can't, like you say, there are so many channels. And I personally, as an entrepreneur, can get overwhelmed. I mean, what about you, Laura, with all the channels and the
Yes. I was just going to say, for a small business owner or an influencer or an entrepreneur, like, I'm sure there's so many people out there who is confused and don't know where to start when it comes to social media. So I have a two-part question for you. For someone who's wanting to get more clarity on how to share yourself on social media, what direction should you start at first? That's the first bit. And then the second bit is, how do you share who you are as a business or an influencer online?
hmm Well, some people would consult us and they would immediately start with a tagline. They would visualize the colors, the design of the website, how it would look. These things are important, but what is more important, that would be it, there has to be a process. There has to be a process. You always start with your target market and what
Mm.
you can offer to them, because by doing that, then eventually you get to answer those questions: what colors, what tagline. So know who you are first, know who your market is, and know who you are.
I love that. And so I know who I am. I like to inspire greatness within through fashion. I love to help people find their own colors in their wardrobe and help them find their personality so they can share it through wardrobe. So I guess in a way, we have a similar job. Like you do a similar thing through marketing. You help them choose what great colors are for their business and how to really execute that through social media. So would you suggest for maybe a stylist or an image consultant, should they focus on Facebook or Instagram first? What would be the best recommendation?
Mhm. I always, for those who are asking us consulting, I would always ask them, check your market. Where do
Mhm.
they go to? Where do they go to? Do they
Good.
go to your Facebook or to your Instagram? And you would know it because based on your clients, you can ask them, how did you learn about us? What made you go for our products and services? And from there you would see, okay, this is where I need to focus on, and maybe this is where I can focus next. This is where they research more about me after finding about me on Facebook. So it depends on who you are targeting. If it's corporate clients, it might not be TikTok, right? Or might not be Facebook or Instagram immediately. But if you are targeting mothers, maybe it is Facebook groups. There are a lot of Facebook groups now for moms. So it's knowing where your target market goes. So when they are looking for certain services and products, let's say they're looking for a stylist. So where do they go? And you can also do surveys, interviews. When I took up my master's degree, I did a formal research before implementing the IMC plan for Communicare. I did interviews with almost 30 persons. So, one-on-one interviews with HR personnel, engineers, and their superiors. So we had a formal research, but you may also do it through observation and asking people.
I
I
love
was
that
just
so
gonna
much. So good. Because, like, as a business person, you usually just dive in and figure it out. But, like, you should really do a little bit of research and maybe get on the phone and ask people questions. Or, it's all about relationships at the end of the day and understanding who you're selling to or who you're helping through your service. I love that so much, Rebecca.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, I don't want to get too much into the step by step and the tips and tricks because Monica is going to be our guest in our Empower session this coming Tuesday. So if you need to know more about this, we invite you to come and be a guest and hear her full presentation. But I do want to go back to even before we choose our social media channel, helping our viewers get a full understanding of how integrated marketing helps them. So really those first steps are, like you said, figuring out who you are and who is it that you are talking to. As you work with your clients and you help business owners, do you have a specific process before you direct them? Like, okay, this is the kind of marketing you need to do. Do you have a process you take them through to help them get to their story?
Mhm. Each client is different. So some would come to us and just ask, will you please evaluate or see? And we just do a brand diagnosis. There are some who would
Sandy.
come to us for copywriting services. And I would always ask them questions. What do you need? Who is your target market? What do you stand for? What are your main products and services? And usually when they come to us, usually they would say, oh, those are good questions. Would you mind if I think about it and come back? And this is why I always emphasize that the tagline, the logo, the colors, these are good, but before we get to that, there must be a creative process. We must think about the reason behind the colors, the reason behind the logo and the tagline. So we usually ask by or we usually start by asking them questions and see what their goals are. What do they want to achieve through their marketing communication strategies?
That's excellent because, like Laura said, I think a lot of business people just kind of jump in like, oh, I really like that color. I'll choose that. Or that tagline sounds good. And I love what you were saying a moment ago about actually interviewing who your target market is, interviewing, asking questions, sort of observing a little bit your target market before you actually start choosing your branding and your social media platforms. And I think that that takes a lot of the overwhelm out of it. Am I wrong about that? Like, I feel like if you know who you're talking to and how to talk to them, it takes some of the overwhelm out of all the myriad of platforms and channels.
Yes, that's right. Because you cannot stand for everything. Otherwise, there won't be any expertise, right? So
Yes.
I would, yes, I would ask them, what do you want to be known for? What is your expertise? What is the main product or service? Because sometimes when I take a look at the website, they would say, okay, this is my target market and this is what I want to do. But when I look at the website says something, and then you go to the social media sites, they say another thing, and even the voice, the tone of how the copy is written, it's different.
Mm.
And that is when the target market becomes confused, because they would ask, are they talking to me? Am I their target market, or is this the right service or product provider? Do I need their services? So if they cannot identify that, this is I am they are talking to me, then that is when the inconsistency is surface.
I see that so often when I'm looking at businesses and even things like publications and stuff. Like, you get confused. It's not clear. Wait, am I their target customer? Or wait, I thought I was. Maybe I'm not. Now it doesn't sound like that. So I think that that is so critical, and I think it's a piece that a lot of us miss as we're putting our business out there. We get caught up in what everyone else is doing. Oh, people are doing that. I should do that too. And I should say that too, or I should post about that too. And maybe it's just not even who you are or what you're trying to achieve with a client. It's not the client you're pursuing, but we get caught up in doing what everyone else does without thinking it through.
Hmm. Yes, and you might be doing something that you don't want to do, or maybe you don't intend to do, like, oh, I want to focus on coaching clients, but it seems that all the marketing materials are, let's say, speaking to corporate clients, and they think that, oh, you are focused on conducting learning programs for corporate clients, but in fact you want to do coaching
Yes.
for, let's say, entrepreneurs. And again, this is why it's so important to know what your message is and what you are communicating across the channels. And one thing right now, you mentioned about social media, right? There are so many channels where we can communicate, and we can have a different type of content for each platform. Like, if you notice, Facebook would have articles, for example, and then Instagram would be more on quotes, reels, longer videos, talks like this on Facebook. But in spite of the different types of content, again, is there consistency in what you are communicating and telling your target market?
That word consistency, it keeps coming into my life. I think that the universe is sending me a message. I'm not consistent. I'm going to take a moment and say hello to our viewers. We have Eleonora, who I believe is in Italy. So hello. I guess it's afternoon. So good afternoon, Eleonora. We have Fariel herself here. Hello. Good morning, Fariel. She's saying, so good to see you, Monica. And then April. April is another one of our Empower members. And she is saying that she loves this conversation. April, it is a great conversation, and you are going to love this coming Tuesday. We are going to learn so much to help propel us forward and concentrate our efforts in building our businesses. April also says, know who you are, know who is your target market. Awesome
Amen.
market advice. Yes, absolutely. We have Warren Franco. Good morning, Warren. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Brand logo must be meaningful. Yes, absolutely. I think that all plays into it. And going back to what Monica said, when we know who we're talking to, I think it can make our logo even more effective and powerful. I do want.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Laura. Jump in
Time
there.
on that, Rebecca. Like it all comes down to knowing who you are at the end of the day. Yes, you have a service, but your heart has to stream through everything that you have to offer. So working with someone, on your vision, on your purpose, and then someone who's specializing in social media. Like I think in business, we get caught up in we know everything, or we'll just do a quick Google and then implement something. But if you can get a really great strategy so that you can execute your service and your mission, that's when we find true success. And that little old thing that Rebecca just said, consistency, just keep on doing the thing. But when we come from a strategized place, that's when magic truly happens in our business.
Absolutely. It really is. It really is. So I want to ask Monica, for our viewers who are watching, how can they learn more about how to use integrated marketing effectively and how they can basically just get educated about the importance of it?
Mhm. There are a lot of articles now about digital marketing, and it is because this is what we are all using right now. Many years ago, it was the tri-media, right? You used to call it tri-media: TV, print, radio. But aside from reading about the trends about digital marketing, there are books about integrated marketing communication. It's actually been around for quite some time already. So there are books about it, about it. You may look for Philip Kotler. I think another book I love about IMC or strategic marketing is about Larry Percy. I can't remember the titles, but you may look for these authors and it will show up. Yeah, so reading about it and again observing. I love looking at brands, and not necessarily brands that are in the same industry as we are. I become more creative when I observe brands that are completely unrelated. I see what are they doing right and how can I apply it. So in that way it becomes still unique to me. I observe what other people are doing and what their messages are, and then what they're saying on each social media platform, and see how it is consistent and how they can deliver consistency in spite of having different types of content. And that is a good way to start when it comes to learning about IMC.
I think that is a great point and a great tip. I remember when I was in school, we would talk about branding and marketing and that kind of thing, and we would do case studies on other brands and look at the colors they use and the message and how they place themselves in the market and who they attract and mistakes they made and things they did well. So I love the point about just observing not only your competitors, but brands out in the world who are doing things really well. I think that's a great point. Now, what about your company? Do you work with people virtually? Because we do have people from all over the world watching this. Do you take on virtual clients to help them with their marketing?
Yes, definitely. Right now, it's 100% virtual from where I am right now. Learning programs, even the consultancy, it's 100% online. We've had clients pre-pandemic, and now that there's a pandemic, they've been with us for quite some time, and fortunately we've been blessed to have clients who we have actually not met in
That's
person.
amazing.
Yes, and I think that's the beauty of going virtual right
Mhm.
now. Like
Absolutely.
the three of us are in different places, and it's not a barrier anymore to collaborate, work together. So yes, we do it virtually right now.
That's excellent. And then maybe I know our Rigel behind the scenes. Perhaps you can put up the contact information for Monica. If not, we will definitely post it when we post this to social media. Oh, there we go. There's your contact information. You can reach out to her and her company if you would like help and more education about this. We have time. We have just a few minutes left to take some questions. If anyone in our audience has a question, about this topic, marketing, communications. She's a communication specialist as well. So it doesn't have to be about integrated marketing, about just improving your communication skills. We would love to take some questions. We have Glenn Franco watching, and Cynthia Franco watching from the Philippines. So we have people from everywhere. Oh, we do have a question. Any tips on how I should research and create my brand manual?
Mhm. Creating a brand manual, again, it all starts with the target market, and then looking at what value you can offer, starting from there and making it as a basis, eventually testing everything and see what works for you, then putting it all together. Like when we were designing the logo of Communicare, I told the artist, oh, this is my vision, and he came up with different studies for the logo. Then we tested it among our target, the corporate, prospective corporate clients, and they said, okay, this is what we like, and they explained why. And then from there, even though the font, everything else, we aligned it with the vision. So you can do research, ask people, test it before you actually launch it, and put everything together.
I love that, asking your clients which one resonates with you, which logo says what I'm about, and which logo says what my services are all about. I love that.
I like
We
that
have one
too,
more, and
because
I'm sorry.
then I like that too, Rebecca, because then they're like emotionally connecting with you and you're building the trust within your
Yes,
relationships with your clients. And then they feel invested in the brand and they might, I don't know, refer more people because they're excited about it. I don't know. I think that's a
yeah,
great
I
idea.
think that that's true. Our clients love when we ask them questions.
Yes.
Um, okay, we have a question from April. How can I integrate my natural product line with my personal styling and image consulting business? Oh, she sells natural products. I'm assuming those would be like cosmetics and beauty products.
Mhm.
So wanting to put those two together.
Well, first of all, analyzing among your current clients who would need these natural products and eventually cross sell.
Mhm.
So, again, knowing who would need these and then present without doing hard selling nowadays. It's more of there has to be authenticity, and that is one of the things being highlighted now in advertising and marketing. Authenticity for those who truly need your product, then share how they can benefit from your product. And collaboration nowadays, it's very big, right? You would see brands collaborating, and so I don't see any problems with integrating different aspects of your business and seeing how one client can actually avail of not just one product or service, but different lines of services that you offer, for as long as, again, there is authenticity that this is what you truly need and I can help you with this product.
I think that that's such a great point. Once again, though, it goes back to everything you initially said about knowing who you're talking to and knowing that client's needs, and then being able to kind of give them what they need. And there is a real strong possibility that that image and style client would want those natural products. And of course, if you're selling natural products, if you're selling anything, but particularly natural products, I think authenticity is a huge piece of that puzzle. We do have one question here that I think could probably be a whole topic unto itself. Do you think that the market is saturated of stylists?
Oh, no.
I- I've always believed that there's enough sun for everyone,
I agree.
and 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 people have people feel comfortable with certain people and with certain stylists because we have the same style, we have the same taste. I love vintage style, and I think like for example bridal wear, right? There are some designers who would specialize in modern designs, there are some
Mhm.
who would specialize in classic designs. So again, knowing what you're good at and who needs or who's looking for this type of product or service that you offer, but there's enough sun for everyone.
I
Love
agree
that.
with that. And I truly believe, I'm not sure, it just comes up as Facebook user, so I'm not sure who asked this question, but I do want to just piggyback on what Monica said, that we all do this differently. And for example, the client I attract might not be attracted to Laura and her style, but a client she attracts may not be attracted to my style, and I'm talking about
Personality.
the style in which I conduct my services with my client, or my personality. So everybody's different. Different designers attract different clients. I do believe there's enough for everybody, but it all goes back again to knowing your target market, knowing your client, and knowing who you're talking to. Warren Franco says he wants to ask questions, but the speaker explained almost everything. Thanks, Warren. Monica did a great job. Um, let's
Thank you.
see.
He is in the he has clothing businesses.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
yes, he and
Fantastic.
his wife.
Is he in the Philippines with you?
Yes, he's in the Philippines too. He they have different clothing lines, so this might be relevant, I hope, for him and
Yes,
his wife.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we are unfortunately out of time. This 30 minutes went by super fast. So we thank everyone who is watching, but I especially thank Monica Prado for being here, sharing her wisdom. If you want to hear more of what Monica has to say, we would love to have you join our Empower group, be our special VIP guest, and come and see what it's all about. And then if you love it, we would love to have you as a member of our community. But please reach out to us. Let us know. We will send you a link. Monica, thank you so much for staying up late and being here with us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed this talk with the two of you, and I look forward to our talk next week.
I cannot wait. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for watching. We will see you next week at 11 a.m.